Thanks for staying with us here on News Talk. I'm Jennifer Donnellan with you on this Wednesday. Just a few days until voters in the Commonwealth head to the polls. We're going to continue our debate series today with Pamela Danner, Democratic candidate for the District 34 House seat. Her opponent, incumbent Barbara Comstock, was invited but declined to come. I know that this has been very important to the show's host, Bruce DuPoit, to have these debates so that the viewers can inform themselves before you head to the polls. And he did want to stress that he did attempt to get Barbara Comstock to come here to the show and talk with us and debate with Ms. Danner, but we were declined. So Pamela Danner's here, so you have the floor for this segment. And just to begin, we were running for District 34 House seat. That's McLean, Loudoun,
Great Falls.
Great Falls.
And a little of Vienna along the toll road and Route 7, Wolf Trap, that area.
Well, why don't you introduce yourself to the viewers? Tell them a little bit about your background. Former junior high school teacher, attorney, I understand.
That's correct, yes. I'm Pamela Danner, and I'm running for the 34th District. I am an attorney in McLean, have been there for 20 years. I also am a mother of 3 daughters who have gone through our public schools, K through 12, and I've been very active in the community. I've been president of Rotary, president of the Community Foundation just recently. 12 years I spent on the Fairfax County Water Authority Board. So I really want to take my almost 30 years of experience to Richmond to serve the 34th District.
How do you decide to run for office? I mean, that's a huge undertaking. You're obviously a very busy woman, mother. What was behind that decision? Well,
I decided that actually the woman that my opponent beat, Margie Vanderhei, lost by just 422 votes, and she decided not to run and encouraged me to run. And I decided that it was a time that I would really like. I think politics are very important in terms of the quality of life that we have in the 34th District. And I felt that I could take my leadership experience of working in the community and really understanding the community to Richmond to serve the community.
Okay. Now, you've done some door-to-door meet and greet with the voters. What were the issues you were hearing about most? Education, transportation?
Exactly. I've knocked on almost 6,000 doors at this point.
I'm still busy.
Still knocking, and actually worn out a pair of tennis shoes.
Did you?
But I found the voters certainly. It runs, as I said, all the way from McLean, the Arlington border, all the way out through Loudoun, the Sterling, Potomac Falls addresses. In Loudoun, the voters have very limited transportation options. They really have their car. And so they're very concerned about the fact that it takes them so long to commute back and forth. So I have expressed that I really want to widen Route 7 all the way out. I support rail to Dulles all the way out to Ryan Road in Loudoun. I believe that we need to have state and federal funding to complete the second phase of rail to Dulles. They also in Loudoun they do not have, I have been an advocate of full-day kindergarten, both Fairfax and Loudoun. And Fairfax now finally has full-day kindergarten, but Loudoun doesn't. And there are a lot of young families with children that are preschool, soon to be in kindergarten, and those parents would really like to have full-day kindergarten.
And that's something in the legislature that you can push for?
What you can push, obviously, it's up to the Board of Supervisors. However, one of the issues is building schools to support the full-day kindergarten. And the state can help with bonding construction, so it can be supportive of, so that they can find funds to actually have the places for these children. Okay,
we were just listening to Prince William County Chairman Corey Stewart about what's on the line for Virginia in terms of the Republican and Democrat presence there in Richmond. What's on the line in the delegates?
In the delegate seat. Actually, the delegate seat that I'm running for, the 34th District, is incredibly possible that I can win this seat. As I said, Margie Vanderhei only lost by 422 votes. It actually has a leaning Democratic index by a little bit. It's about 50-50. I feel that I'm fiscally conservative but socially moderate, and that fits pretty well with the majority of the constituents. I believe that we need a more balanced voice in the House of Delegates. The House of Delegates is a majority Republican, and that I can add a voice there that is a more pragmatic, reasoned voice that can work with both sides.
And one of the things that I think that you've criticized Barbara Comstock about is that she's out of touch with the community. You're saying your 25 years of community service there, you think that that stands on its own against her?
Absolutely. I am fiscally conservative. I served on the McLean Community Center Governing Board, and actually as treasurer there, I proposed and they approved a 10% reduction in the small district tax. But on the other side, I'm socially moderate. Barbara Comstock's record, you can even, viewers can go to comstockvotes.com and look at it. I believe that that record, she has voted against state funding for stem cell research. She has voted to criminalize abortion. She has voted for guns in bars. She's even voted to allow tractor trailers in the far left lane on I-95. That these are issues that she has voted on in terms of records that do not fit with the constituents in the 34th District.
Let's go back to the Dulles Metro Rail project. You said you supported out to Ryan Road. That's the above ground station, correct?
The Ryan Road?
The Ryan Road.
No, the Ryan Road is beyond that.
Okay.
It's out past Dulles Airport and beyond.
Okay. What kind of feedback are you getting from voters on that? They want to see that continue?
Yes, absolutely. Particularly, obviously, people want to make sure that costs are contained. But what I support is that we do make sure that costs are contained, but also that we get. There is no funding currently from the state or from the federal government to go out there, to go all the way for phase 2. So that we really need to get state funding as well as federal funding. We have my opponent says that we have the last General Assembly got $4 billion in a transportation package. However, out of that package, less than 0.1% goes to projects in the 34th District, and there's no funding for rail to Dulles, the second phase. So we need to get some of that money for rail to Dulles.
And we have the huge traffic problem here in the D.C. metro area, especially coming through your district.
Absolutely.
Especially along 66. What are your hopes that that Silver Rail extending it out beyond Dulles would help alleviate some of that? Are you finding that your voters they're the commuters, they're the ones that are coming into the city, or?
The Loudoun voters that are commuting, there's no Metrobus in Loudoun County.
Okay.
There is none. So what they're doing is using the Loudoun connector to connect into West Falls Church to the metro station there, or commuting through that all the way into D.C.
Okay.
This way they could actually they will have a center at Dulles Town Center where they can get a connector bus into the new metro stations.
Okay.
So it would really help their commute.
Yeah, it sounds like those commuters need a break somewhere. And Loudoun's exploding, too, in terms of population growth.
That's correct as well.
So
and we also need to look at, not in as far as the McLean-Vienna area, they are looking at they would like to be able to use the new metro stations. And unfortunately, right now, we do not have really a clear plan. They're working on it for access to those stations. We need bike paths, sidewalks, bus shuttles, so that the residents that have suffered so long with the congestion from the project can actually get to those 4 new stops that are part of the first phase.
In talking about education, you were a junior high school teacher. Where did you teach?
I actually taught in Montgomery County.
Okay.
And then after that, I went to law school. I taught 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, and I basically decided if you can teach 7th and 8th and 9th grade, you can be a lawyer.
Right. Oh, you can be a lawyer.
You can be a lawyer.
You know how to put out fires with highly emotionally charged situations.
Exactly.
I love it. And your girls went through public schools?
They did, in Fairfax County.
Okay.
So I've been endorsed by the Virginia, Fairfax, and Loudoun Education Association.
I also see Washington.
The Washington Post and the Loudoun Times-Mirror as well. So I truly appreciate the value of our classroom teacher. I know what it was like.
My mom's a Fairfax County teacher.
And you know what she
I've watched her through the years, grading all those papers, And in terms of education, in Fairfax County, say, it's always been touted as one of the best public school education systems in the country. But, you know, these are tough times. There have been huge budget cuts. What do you propose for making sure that it remains one of the better education systems?
Oh, I really propose that I go down and advocate for a fair share of funding for our education needs in the 34th District. My opponent actually voted in 2010 to cut over $600 million from the public education funding. We really need to bring our tax dollars back to support our schools, to maintain this quality education. As you know, really Northern Virginia is the engine that kind of drives the economy, and people come, businesses come to Fairfax and Loudoun County because of the great education. Schools
have always been the number one.
And we need to support those schools to continue to get the businesses and people to come.
Okay, so really quick, how are you feeling going into Tuesday?
I feel good. We think we have momentum on our side. We've been endorsed by many of our community groups, the teachers, the firefighters, the Washington Post, and we have a field operation that is working incredibly well, and I will continue to knock on doors and meet the voters up through Tuesday. Okay,
well, we hope that they just got a good glimpse of you and your record, and best of luck to you on Tuesday. Again, Barbara Comstock was invited to come, but she declined this debate. We'll be back with more in just a moment.